Welcome. We will record it. This will be available on our website as well, and so we'll make sure that you have it. And I like to walk around. So today we're really just you're more than welcome to come in and join. Yeah, come on in, sit wherever you would like. Today we're going to look at the job search, we're gonna look at networking and branding, and we're gonna look at career success. And then next semester, we're gonna dive deeper into the topic, and we're going to go a little bit deeper as it evolves. We know that this portion of, whether it be ChatGPT or Copilot, any of the other ones, Gemini and so on, they just started to come out a little over a year ago when it was available to us. So we know that it's fluid and it's constantly changing. So we wanted to just touch base on things that are in your head right now. And that's really look at the job search, maybe networking, and like, how do I even use this in my career? And can I use it in my career? And is it ethical to use it in my career? Those type of things. So we're going to talk about shaping the job search, the importance of it in the sense of integrity, and Roe moved it, but that's okay. We're going to look at surcharging, employment opportunities, tools, and so on. So we're going to skip there, and then we're going to dive into it. The next one, you're good. You can go down. So we're going to see if we can move that really quick. The little thing. The taskbar, it's driving me crazy. Okay. Do you want to get started on shaping your job search?
Sure.
This one.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to get started? Okay.
So while we're dealing with some stuff, we're just going to continue and push through. So for job searches, I'm sure that's one of the big return on investments here at CGU. You guys are here to earn your degrees, but also to figure out what you're going to do post-graduation. So while you're looking for jobs, there's different ways to go about it, right? The one that we're going to talk about here is how to utilize AI to kind of condense and make your job search more effective and more efficient, right? So gone are the days where you have to open up 7 different tabs with 7 different type of job boards. You can actually use AI to consolidate and to condense all that information in one shot. In addition to that, you're going to be able to do research on companies and also build your career materials as well, like your resumes, your cover letters. You can even use AI to start building general informational interview questions as well that you can predict that will be asked of you as well. So these are things that are going to be utilized in AI, and it's going to be done in real time. This is going to be something that's going to be very common. So if you're not totally comfortable with it, we do suggest that you get a little bit familiar with it, because this is going to be something that's going to be a standard practice, I believe, in the future. And we're incorporating it even in our career sessions as well.
I want to share an example of how I used it the other day with a client, and it can help you gather. So we took about 4 or 5 job descriptions that she was interested in, and we had the bot read them, and then we put her resume in there and said, what am I missing? What am I not doing that I need to leverage in these position descriptions? So we asked the bot to pick out like 5 to 7 outliers in these position descriptions, and that matched between all the different job descriptions. And then we gave it the resume and said, what am I missing? And we knew then that maybe she just put it on her resume, or she doesn't have that skill set advanced enough to use it and to put it on there. And then and Irma will be able to show you how to do this. And I know Itamar and I were playing with it last week, but we reversed the bot to ask us questions instead of us asking it questions. And it does seem like, how do I do that? It really is a computer. And the thing about it is it's very manipulative. Like, you can manipulate it, right? And so just don't be afraid of it. Just like you use your phone. It's not any different than your phone. It's not any different than Amazon telling you what you should buy, because it does tell me what I should buy. And so it's the same system. It's just, it feels a little bit more intrusive right now. So we're going to kind of go a little bit deeper. Do you have anything to say about that one? Because I know you use LinkedIn a lot. Do you want to describe how you use that?
Sure. So for me, I leverage LinkedIn as much as possible. They have a really nice interface where you can tailor your job searches, and it'll tailor everything to what you have on your LinkedIn profile. And even then, like, if you're somebody who is kind of working your way to that job and you don't quite have that there, you can leverage it in other ways. Like for me, I'm a gigantic data person, so I built that, and I can show you that how I do that later on. But I leverage that as much as I can. They do the heavy lifting in there. Why not use it? And it's there, and you don't even have to have a premium account in order to get that. I have one because it's worth it for me, but it may not be worth it for you now, but maybe later on down the road as you kind of start working with LinkedIn a lot more.
And you can look at writing grants to get a premium account too. The premium accounts are $240 a year. It's not per month or anything like that. It is about what, $239.88 or something like that. I don't remember.
You get a discount if you pay for the whole year.
Yes.
Or you can bill every month. I think it's around $40.
Yeah, I would do it yearly,
But it's-
and they may have a
It's
student.
quite a big discount if you pay just 1 month. So I think it's like half.
Yeah.
It's significant.
Okay, we can go to the next one.
Next one is the video.
The next one's a video, so Irma's gonna show this, and for those of you online, if, we can also pause in the middle and talk about it as we go. And we can back up, but this video is really going to show you how she uses it and how we're beginning to use it. And so let us know if you can't hear it online, and she can describe. You can't hear it?
Okay. They can't hear it.
Okay, give us 1 second.
Do I have to adjust the volume settings in Zoom?
It might be that we hear it and they're not.
Yeah, it's an external speaker.
It's
Okay.
It might be
It-
under the sharing. When you share, there should be a setting to also share audio, I think.
Thank you for giving
Here.
us the hints. That's
Okay.
actually very helpful.
Hold on 1 second, I'm
Hit
gonna,
escape.
yeah.
Okay. Audio.
So while we're playing with this, thank you for, just working with us a little bit. In the audience here, how many people actually utilize AI right now in their job search? Does anybody utilize it? How do you utilize it?
Where do I go?
I don't know, I think it's bad, because that's the volume, right? That's the output, try the output volume, but it's this one, I think it's those.
Exactly.
Same as the echo speaker, maybe try that one. It's gonna be happy one or the other, right?
Yeah. Should just try resharing it? Let's
What-
reshare and see if that
And
comes
do
up
you,
again.
so you utilize it to identify any
Share
deficiencies
sound?
you may have. Do you also utilize it to
Share.
help, right?
It's on the right,
Fill in?
share sound,
Yeah.
right here, try that.
Mhm.
Making that kind of matching this job
We
description.
don't have to talk to you.
No,
Can you all hear that now? Okay, hold on 1 second.
no, I think
What
that's-
I, which is what we
that's the way
need, so
that
let's
you
go ahead and open
utilize
it.
Right now.
And I'm actually going, can you lower everybody? I am just going to. Sorry, can they hear now?
Okay, thank
We'll
you.
continue, but thank you. for
Yay.
sharing. Okay.
Hi, you can sit wherever you would
quickly
like.
demonstrate how you can change an existing resume that you might have into something different, maybe a format change or anything. Just a very simple demo. We're in Copilot now. You can use the app version, which is what I'm doing here now. Hit the sign in button. We're gonna just go ahead and sign in. It's gonna pick up and we're gonna sign in through CGU. So just use your CGU account like I'm gonna do here. And here you go. I'm gonna use the Copilot for work. You could do it here, but you could do a lot more in the work mode, such as upload documents and whatnot, which is what we need. So let's go ahead and open it. And I'm actually going to use Chrome instead. And the reason why is because for some reason it's better at downloading files through here for whatever reason. Can't really tell you why, it's just the way it goes. So that's what we're gonna do here. So I'm gonna go ahead and authenticate. Let's get in here. Okay. Cool. Now we're set. So resume, yes. I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like now. And here we go. This is the one that I have now. So this is what we're gonna upload, okay? And let's do that now. So go ahead and go to add file here in the corner. Let's go ahead and grab that resume. We're gonna open it up and I'm just gonna do basic
Sorry, I got it.
prompts for now since we're gonna keep this very simple. What I'm gonna say is, we'll just say hi. I just uploaded my resume. Can you please suggest
And for those
a
virtually,
different?
you can see that she used the little paper clip. That's pretty easy to do. We've used things.
Yeah. All right, sure, happy to help. Okay, looks like it's looking at what I got.
So you'll never need us
And making
anymore.
some
We'll be
suggestions
doing
and
your
some
resume.
edits.
So
going
it's
through my
nice to
personal
see you all.
experience,
This
all
will
the way
be a
down to
difference.
suggesting any certification put on here. And then it says now at the end, feel free to adjust the layout to benefit your personal style and specific job you are targeting. Okay, let's look at what they're suggesting. Can you provide more tips for providing? No, I don't like any of those. So let's do, okay, I like this. Can you suggest a more modern look and add color
You made it.
and add color?
Is there anybody online or in the audience that's done this before?
So I'm gonna go back. It's going real fast. Says here, look at
How
some
are you
color
feeling?
accents. Let's suggest. So it's making some suggestions.
I'll wait until she's done.
It's almost done.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
There, oh, down here at the end. Yep. Color scheme, font choices, layout, icons. Would you like me to create a visual example of this layout? Yes, please.
Yes. And she's nice about it too. Yes, please.
All right. It's probably gonna go through it again. Yep, it usually does. And then we'll get our here at the end. Cool. So it's basically just writing out the visual example, not exactly showing it to you. I like this. Can we move forward and create this template? And include it as a, let's just say, downloadable file. Being very basic here. So, all right. Cool, looks like it's executing. 3 minutes here. Here we go. Let's see what it looks like. It's probably not going to look all fantastic now because I gave it some very basic prompts. Let's see what we got here. Okay, cool. So it definitely transformed the resume that I had originally, and then it added some stuff to it. You can do some other additional things like, include like, some different kind of, like if you want smaller spacing, if you want different kind of font. We didn't really specify that for this exercise. We kept it very simple here. But this is just kind of illustrating what you can do, and you can definitely, like I said, add different prompts and add some more, give it some more commands to add to your existing resume. And that's.
All right, let me just go ahead and get.
So while he's moving that out for the online audience, because I'm looking at the in-person audience, How was that for you? Obviously, it needs to be tailored, it needs to have some more attention to it, but
For
the
now,
beginning
thank
of
you very
it.
much.
How was that for you? Anybody in the chat have anything to say? It's very easy. You saw the paperclip. All you have to do is attach your resume. You go from there.
What's that initial prompt you get it?
I just said, you know, I wanted to change like the layout, like suggest something. So I said, hey, I just uploaded my resume. Can you please suggest a different kind of layout? And that's just easy stuff. Like you can even like populate your LinkedIn. Hey, my LinkedIn is here. Can you add stuff from my LinkedIn instead of you doing it, and it'll suggest it to you and you can download that and then continue on from there, or even add more prompts like, hey, change the font, do this, do that, add different color. If you don't like the color they suggest, stuff like that. Very basic stuff, but as you can see, as you continue giving it more prompts, you can continue to customize even more.
Alan in the chat has his hand raised, so
Okay.
Alan, you can unmute and speak whenever you're ready.
I guess I've never used Copilot before. I use ChatGPT a lot to maybe help me build resumes and cover letters and that sort of thing. What I find annoying with ChatGPT, and I'm wondering if Copilot is better, is if I ask it to change something, I only want it to change that one thing. It'll still change a bunch of other things, and then I'm starting from square one again. Is Copilot better about just changing that one thing that you want to change and then move on to the next step?
I've used both. I use ChatGPT pretty regularly, but I find that it doesn't do that so much with Copilot. I think it's maybe going down to, you know, saying, hey, just change this, but make sure you emphasize in your prompt. Maybe don't change anything else. I maybe try that, maybe try just the verbiage a little bit in ChatGPT. I haven't done that in ChatGPT, but that's my recommendation.
And Alan, I have, and I put quotes around it. I'm like, please change this specific word or this specific sentence. So have you tried that?
I don't know. I'd have to go back and try it again. I mean, I usually am like, when they change like a million things, I'm like, just change this. And then it still
Yes.
changes something else. And I said, just change that. And they're like, I did. And here's the new one. And I'm like, no, you still changed it. So I'm like, all right.
And
Yeah.
it's okay to argue with the bot because I do all the time and I feel satisfied. But it does control us more than I want it to.
Yeah, maybe try Copilot and see,
Yeah.
see if that is a better thing. I find that it is, but again, it goes down to your prompting, so.
And then there's also Gemini and there's a few other ones too. They're all starting to evolve. But no, that's a great question. I'm gonna actually play with it and then we'll try and find out the answer and pop it in an email to all of you. So Deborah, you want to move on and then just ask questions as we go for those in the audience as well. And feel free to stand up and get some chocolate.
Oh, yes. So there's one technical thing I've discovered when you use AI and you have your resume made once for one industry and you're applying there. But every time you have a different cover letter, but it picks the same resume. Is there something that we need to be particularly conscious about? What is it that we have uploaded? Should we upload our resume, like the new one, and then ask for cover letter because that's helpful? But how to go about it?
So let me repeat the question, just like Nasia. So basically what you're saying is that you're asking it to write a cover letter, but it's based off of the resume that it sees.
Yes.
So it needs it needs whatever you want it to read from is what it needs. So if there's a new resume that you've tailored for that position and you're asking it to write a cover letter, then you must submit that new resume for it to know what it's trying to feed from.
And our captions are supposed to be like with the new industry, and like every time we are asking for a cover letter or that resume, it has to be updated and.
Yes. It needs to be updated because it can also look at your archive too. So it'll archive what you put in what you've used in the past. So good question. Any questions online? Oh yeah, go ahead.
I have a question, like, when you check the resume, like, do you upload it? Where do you upload it, or just copy and paste the whole resume to ChatGPT?
I've done both. Well, I don't know. Do you want to, is there? Yeah.
I've done both.
Yeah.
I know that in the regular Chat GPT, the free version, you actually can't,
There's no-
you can't upload a document because you have to use the premium version. But you could just copy and paste it there. I've done it both ways and it works just fine. You may not be able to get them to populate your resume and download it and work from there, but you can at least, it'll kind of tell you like what you could do and it'll still give you recommendations.
And for those of you online and in the audience, all students have access to the Microsoft Suite, which Copilot is part of that. And so you have access to that. It is on there. So when you see your Office 365 and you have all of that, Microsoft is part of that product. And so you get in there as a function and as an option for you, the Copilot part. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? There's things in the chat. Oh, Katya, go ahead.
So from your experience, like if you use different platforms, which one is the one that you would most recommend? Because for example, I know ChatGPT, the paid version is really good, but then the free version, you can upload documents. And then I personally actually haven't used Copilot and Gemini. So just based on like how the platforms are now and like how it is with the free and paid version, which one would you like most recommend?
That's a good question. I hate to say it, but the free version in Copilot is better than the regular Chat GPT, in my opinion. I feel that it does exactly what I ask it to, and I don't have any issues with it. With that said, if you have the extra funds to pay for Chat GPT, the premium, that's $20 a month, it's worth it. I love it. But I would not really use the basic one. It's okay for, simple stuff, but if you want to do more advanced stuff, free version Copilot. Otherwise, if you could pay for it, do the premium Chat GPT. Unfortunately, I've not used Gemini yet. I've heard good things. I hear that there's actually a tool, I just learned about it, where you can run a prompt and it'll run it in all of them and you can see what they get. And I don't have it on me, I'm sorry, but I'll look for that and then I'll send it out to you guys, or send it out to career.
Yeah.
And then they can send it to you guys.
I've used them all for the same prompt and it's fun to kind of see. I feel like with Chat GPT, it gave me more information and then it started to dwindle. But I can say that I think it was Gemini that was a little bit more human focused. It had like a little bit more lean attached to it. So it's just like clothing, right? Just wear what you want to wear when you want to wear it. Try them all, use them all, and see what works for you.
Right.
I mean, it's okay to pop them in, just have them all open and pop in the same question and see what comes out. And you might blend some of the responses from all three. So I think it's fun. It's kind of like using, Google spreadsheet or using Excel. Just do it. Okay, great. Deborah, go ahead.
Yeah, this is a great segue into this slide because we're talking about some of the tools that you can use. There are a lot of different AI tools. This is not an exhaustive list. And in fact, in our next slide.
Oh, do you want me to do that?
We have a little more information. We're going to email this out to everyone who's registered. So with links on it, so you can click and go to these different links. But again, we're looking at how do we utilize AI? It's not going away. It's just continuing to grow. There's more and more tools coming out each and every day, it seems like. And so how do you leverage that to help you in your career search? And I think part of it, I'm so glad you all are here today and those that are online, because as with anything, the first step is gaining knowledge, what's even out there, because if you don't know it's out there, you don't know to use it. And so just finding out, these are some resources that you can use and the different ways that you can use them in your career search. Our office is happy to help. You can always schedule an appointment. If we don't know something, we have experts that we can refer to. We can get that answer for you or help refer you to someone that can help you through that process.
We have
a couple questions in the chat. Andre wanted to know, he notes that the internet is already a scary place, and he wants to know, how would you advise students looking to add their resume to AI platforms, knowing that their contact information, such as phone number, email, etc., are listed on there? I usually upload my resume without those details, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts on data privacy.
So Andre, who is who's asking the question. He's our director of basically career and professional development at Pittsburgh College. And so we invited our colleagues to be here today. Thank you, Andre, for the question. I think they should just expose themselves. No, just kidding. No, I'm really sensitive about identity theft and about financial identity theft. I've now hit 9 times of financial identity theft in my life, and so it's very frustrating to me. That's a great question. I don't know how I would answer it. I'm gonna have to think for a second, but I'm gonna turn to my colleagues to see what they think.
Well, I definitely say, Andre, I think you're right. You don't put your contact information
Yeah.
when you cut and
Yeah.
paste your resume or your cover letter. And at times I even tell some students, you don't even have to cut and paste the employer. Like, you know, I don't know how far down the road you want to go in terms of data privacy, but anything that can identify you, I leave off. Right? Of course, you're gonna say, oh, I worked here and I worked there for this many years, but that's the information they're gonna get from you. On your regular resumes as well, you shouldn't be putting your full address.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
put like Claremont, California, Los Angeles, California. I don't need to know that you live in this apartment at this place. You're already adding your phone number and maybe your LinkedIn possibly, but that's public information anyway. I know that I said your phone number is public information. Yes, it is,
It is.
right? Yeah. At this point, if the spammers can get you, then anybody can get you. But for the purposes of putting more information out there, I think you're doing the right thing about leaving your contact information off. So, you know, it's just not copy pasting that portion. Someone was about to raise their hand? Yes.
Yeah.
So, in a sample resume, would it have your name?
It can, but again, you
Could
can
it be
fill
like-
that in later, right?
Could it be left off? Oh, are you talking about only using the tools or when submitting the jobs?
No, when you
When
actually
using the tools.
submit, all of the information is on there.
Yeah.
When you're using the tools, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you could put every company as ABC, NBC, CBS, it doesn't
Gotcha.
matter. You know those companies.
I
So when the bot spits out what you're looking for,
Okay,
then you can change it back to wherever you really want.
okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
One more question. Sean would like to know what you all think about Perplexity AI.
Oh, do you use Perplexity?
I've used it a couple
Yeah.
times, and actually, if you have the premium version of LinkedIn, you get to use it for a couple months for free. So it's pretty awesome.
Okay.
I've used it a little bit and it's great. It's very similar. I haven't used it in a while, so I can't give you like a full demonstration of it right now. But I do have it, so and it's great. It's helped me with at the time when I was using it for research stuff, and it was great. It was very similar to the other ones, but a little bit different. And if you, like I said, if you have that LinkedIn premium, you can use it for free for like 3 months, which is pretty great. So
And one thing, the CSAT team is actually mentored, so Faisal and Karen and DeMarie were not able to be here today. But DeMarie had shared that he also uses something called Lazy App. It's called Lazy App, right? I think it's called Lazy App. I'll look it up to let you know. But it helps populate all of the applications, so you don't spend all of that time doing it. He said, oh, I think it's called Lazy.
Or is it AI?
No, it's Lazy something. So I'll look it up and I'll make sure that it goes in the email. But it is great in the sense of the job search, but the application part of it.
yeah.
There's so many tools out there. So when we send you this, we'll send it to your email and the links will be there. Play around with them. Maybe commit to like one per week, just to kind of play with it. Just give yourself a little bit of time to play with each of them. And then by the end of the semester, or the end of the academic year, you'll be through all of them and you'll have a better feel of which ones you like to, and that work best for you. Okay, let's move. We want to be cognizant of it. Okay, who do we have on this one? Is this you? Oh, Irma, I think we put you on here. We're kind of like, spreading the wealth a little bit.
I think, well, I could do another demo, but we are at 12:38. So, I think for this one, we could just say like, we're sharing some, just kind of like some prompts here. You could do like a similar, thing, kind of like what we did. You can upload like an example, or you can, an example, right, and then bring in the job description, and I know, Michelle, you're not gonna like this, but I have a paid version of ChatGPT.
I'm okay with that. I just haven't paid
And
for
you
it
can, yeah, it's, for me, it's worth it. So I actually created my own ChatGPT for careers. for applying for jobs, I just call it like, career assistant. And like, it saves my prompts, I could tailor it, it's got, all of my information on it, and I can use it regularly. I can access it like a regular chat GPT and do these prompts, and it's looking at my resume, and I can add in like jobs that I'm looking at, whether it's on LinkedIn and everything, and it's very helpful. So you could do similar to what we showed in the video, but instead maybe tailor it to cover letters and resumes and stuff like that. So it's very similar to what we just did. I don't want to, it could demo it again, but if somebody wants to sit with me and we can do it together if you guys want, but very similar. And again, creating those chat GPTs for yourself is really clutch with the premium version. I'm not a spokesperson for them, but it really helps me, and I use it for other stuff too. So that's just the tip of the iceberg.
So these prompts, do you find that it works better if you give the AI to include one prompt at a time, or everything you want into one?
Well, the wonderful thing about creating your own chat, like your own GPT, is it'll actually walk you through it, and it'll talk to you. It'll say, hey, like I want to create a career assistant. Okay, cool. Well, what are you looking for? What areas are you trying to develop? Networking, your own brand. And you can tell it that. It's like, okay, great. Well, what do you want in here, or what do you want to call me? It even asks you that, like, do you want to name me something? And it'll tell you, and it'll walk you through everything to finally set it up. And so you could use these prompts, but you could do it in a way where you could do it a step at a time. I find that it goes both ways. You can bring it in all at once and type it in there, or you could do it a step at a time as you see the progression of your GPT.
And all of those things are really important because we're only talking about career right now. I use ChatGPT every single day. I'm like, I have these 5 items in my refrigerator. I don't know what to make for dinner. And it literally will tell me. I want it to be a dinner that is under 500 calories. Like it literally, and I've asked it questions like, I'm joining a walking club. What should my walking club be? I ask it everything all day. So the paid version will actually, it kind of like replaces your friends. I don't want really that to happen. So please don't make this like the bot your friend, because some people do. But it really does. You can ask it anything, and it's amazing how you can turn it to help you get through things that I'm feeling really stressed right now. What should I do? I've asked it that. It's like, it's time to get outside, Michelle. I know you like nature. Like it talks back to me.
Yeah.
So please use it in different aspects of your life, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah, and for me, it's like Michelle said, think of it as your little assistant that you wish you had that could help you, streamline some of the things that you're doing. For me, I use Python and SQL, and I'm in it every single day, and I've been using that language for almost 6-7 years now. I can't remember everything. Like that's not like, but I don't need to, because you can look for stuff online, and unfortunately with like things like Python, there's always a new package or a library coming out. I can't keep track of that, but I can use an assistant to help me keep track of that. And if I forget a command, and I even put a prompt when I forgot something, I could put a prompt in there and it'll say, oh, you forgot this, or hey, try this. It'll streamline it for you and help you out. And that's how I use it almost every day. So, and that's just for Python and SQL.
And you are using this, you have been using it when you ask Google questions. So when you ask Google a question and you say, what's the weather outside? It's not any different. It's condensed to one area though, and it's going to spit out a little bit of different information, more concise. So we've been using it 20 years ago when Vaughn's, the grocery store, started telling us what we bought recently and what we're supposed to be buying. And don't forget to get milk this time, Michelle. It knows. So this information is not new. It's just that it's just like anything else where they've condensed, they've given it a name, and now people are starting to see it in a different light.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think too, you can Google ChatGPT prompts and you can get, there's so many different articles out there. If you're really struggling with, I don't even know what to ask it, you can go and look and read those. There's one that has like 50 prompts. So there's a lot of information out there that'll show you what types of prompts you can use and what kind of information you can use it for.
The next one is very similar and Ro is gonna go through this, but if it's okay, do you mind if we go to the integrity? Yeah, we're gonna talk about
For time's
integrity.
sake,
Yeah.
but basically. Now, this is important, the job search integrity. There are some companies, you guys have heard of ATS, automated tracking systems, when you had to put a resume in, let's say for a larger company, they did something before. Now they're doing something where there's like an AI ATS. So if your resume is only generated, I don't know how they figured this out. But they can kind of know if it was just bot generated or you had some personal touch into it. There's also law schools, like I know students that are applying to law school and they ask you point blank, did you use AI to help write your essay? And then you have to say no, right? Because they're not sure what your writing style is and your capabilities. So there is this integrity part, just like back in the day, like in the early 2000s, when the internet was not considered a viable research tool, they didn't know how to cite it, they didn't know how to do all that stuff. Now it's commonplace, right? AI will become that way eventually, but right now there is this bias toward it. I'm sure you guys have seen this with your professors when they say, don't use AI, or if you're gonna use AI, do it this way, because they're have some type of control over it right now. But outside of academia, in the professional sense, you can see people are utilizing it at work, not just to apply to work, but at work itself. So this is something, a skill that you have to learn. You just have to make sure, in my opinion, right now, this is how I counsel students, is when you're applying, make sure AI is not the last author on your application materials. You have to still vet it. You still have to put your touch to it to tailor specifically to where you want. Cover letters as well. If you write a cover letter and I write a cover letter, we have similar prompts, it's gonna spit out something 80%, 70% similar. If I'm a recruiter and I see 80% similarity in these 4 cover letters that I received, obviously I'm gonna know something was up, right? And that's probably gonna think it's gonna be AI. So you wanna differentiate yourself a little bit. Remember, you're competing, you're utilizing these skills to put you in the best place, just to make your search a little easier, but it's still you, right? So there's an integrity part, and right now it's the trustworthy part, they don't trust it totally. And you see this right now with some of your professors, especially the ones that are like anti-tech, right? No, don't do it. But consistency is really important because your work product must match all the stuff that you wrote for your application materials as well. Once you start, there are people that get in trouble after they start working and they find out, oh, the stuff that you did to get this job was a little cheap. That happens as well. So you have to just make sure you're consistent throughout. Are there any questions about professionalism of that part?
Just like when you read something, you just don't copy it and plagiarize verbatim. I do it all the time. I'll throw in an accomplished statement with a client on ChatGPT and I'll say, rewrite this for me. And it does. And I'm like, I don't like that, rewrite it again. And then I'll take the 2 and then we'll tweak it to make it sound the way that the client wants it to sound. We're just asking it to share information. That's all we're doing. It's not any different.
And on the next slide, you know how Irma said that she has a ChatGPT she pays for, so it's kind of tailored towards you. So it knows your prompts and all that stuff beforehand. However, a lot of us don't have that. So you're starting kind of a prompt over again every time, right? So then it's starting fresh. So you can't really have your own voice in it yet. If you have a bank of information that it kind of knows you a little bit more and familiarize yourself with the bot, then it'll do a little bit more for you. But generally, I think for us, you have to have your writing style embedded when you're doing application materials. So it says on the second point, use your own voice. I think that's really important because everybody here, if I gave you one thing, I said write a report or 2 sentences, everybody's going to come out with various different types. That has to be your uniqueness, still has to go through. Okay, you cannot be the same applicant as thousands of others that are applying for this easy apply job. Another one is the accuracy. I've been noticing that ChatGPT, it only reads when I say it to read, or it only walks when I tell it to walk. If I don't say it, it'll skip a step sometimes. So until I have a bank of information where it's kind of intuitive and it knows what to do, you're telling it step by step what to do. So I remember somebody online said that, well, I want it to only, rewrite or revise this one part, but it's not doing that for me. I don't know if you have a bank, about a ChatGPT paid version or not. But because it doesn't know you as well, it doesn't still exactly understand what you're talking about, right? It's still context. It's still in an infancy form. So you do have to make sure that it's accurate. Once you spit out a final product, that draft is still a draft that needs to be revised. So make sure you don't submit an AI produced document without you having gone over it before. And do you guys have any comments about that?
No, I didn't.
No,
Said it
it's
beautiful.
right on.
Okay, all right.
And then this slide deck will be available again.
And the last part, I know we're short on time a little bit, but the last part, the networking aspect, I think we didn't talk that much about this yet, but you can network using AI as well, right? Just like you're using information to create a resume, you can use information to create a networking bank. Because there are people, how do I network? That's a lot of the questions. They say, I know I have to network, but how do I do it? Let AI help you at least create that information list, right? I need to talk to so-and-so at this company, then maybe, now again, a lot of people hide really well in companies, like HR people, it's really hard to find the information. But at least, like ChatGPT, it'll give you suggestions on what type of titles of people you should be trying to contact as well. Right?
Deborah, I think you had you were gonna say a few things on this one.
On networking.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think Irma was gonna showcase how she utilizes it. But like Ro was saying, just being able to think through, how do I brand myself? You can have a prompt, like, these are the things I want you to know about myself. What type of branding would I use? What kind of language would I use? How should I articulate this to people? And so you can ask those types of prompts and keep, again, it's a conversation, because you have one prompt, but then you can keep saying, well, I don't, add this part, or can you rewrite this so it's only 500 words, or rewrite it where it's 1,000 words. And so think of it as that conversation and really helping you think through things. And I feel like it's, when we were younger, we didn't have all this. We would go to our friends and we would ask them, Michelle, what would you say about me? If you were if you were to sum up what you know about me, what would you say? And so now we have this computer that we can ask that. And again, it doesn't know you like a person would, but you can have those different prompts that give you ideas of what you can do. So I look at these, all of these are always suggestions, and you can take it or leave it, you can change it. You can use what you originally had. So think of it as that suggestion. But again, thinking through, what are the ways that you are marketing yourself or networking or branding? Is it LinkedIn? Is it YouTube? What types of groups on LinkedIn should I be connecting with when my interests are this? And so always thinking through how to utilize it to help you.
And we're gonna work with the CSAT team to do more videos, and we'll share those videos with you, because we know we're limited to 1 hour. You wanna go to the next one and the leveraging
Yeah, and this is just a quick, kind of just adding to what Deborah is saying. I showed some snippets from my LinkedIn, and I actually can share that with you right now. But this is just a silly example. I follow a lot of data folks on LinkedIn, and it's leveraging that power that they have, and I start with, top voices and make my way like around, and I could show you anybody how to do that, but you start following them. You don't have to necessarily add them as a friend. I follow folks all the time and then find out, no, you know what? I don't really like your stuff. I don't follow you. Then you don't have to unfriend them. So, but a lot of data folks, and this is just a silly joke amongst data folks. I work a lot with Power BI, Tableau. So this gentleman is making a joke about BI intelligence, how, yes, I do work in Power BI, and then inadvertently I become a designer, I become pro at DAX, and then I end up becoming a pro at data warehousing, ETL, and that's actually going past the data analysis and going into other data fields. So you end up becoming a master of many tools. And this is just a joke, a guy walking all these dogs, and they're just all of these data tools that you're wrangling every single day. But he has an awesome Power BI page on actually a bunch of videos that you can follow him on YouTube. An awesome channel. He gives you tips on how to, like, just for Power BI, and this is only for that, but there's other folks that do that. They have a page, and then they have videos that you can watch, like if you're learning Tableau, or if you're a project manager and you're learning a brand new tool. Or even like say something like Canva. I don't know if anybody uses Canva, but you can go on there and they have some really awesome tutorials on how to use Canva, but you typically find them on LinkedIn. So I can go to my page here real quick, and then I'll get back to getting back to here, but this is me, and so a lot of things are coming up, data stuff, software engineering stuff, and then I think you just saw like supply chain. But what I do is I'm always looking, it looks at your search history, so I'm looking at NVIDIA, past professor, and other stuff, other companies and everything. But then it also looks at my profile, suggests folks to me. I've also added some hashtags that I follow, and you can build this into your page. Some groups, there's Claremont, and then other events that I sometimes attend, and then a bunch of followed hashtags as well. And then as you start seeing some of these folks, some of these data folks also follow other data folks, and then you could start seeing their content, and it's suggesting it to you, like this is about DAX, and if you're a Power BI person, you have to know DAX. This gentleman has a page, and then other companies that I do enjoy that I follow. And what's great is that you're building your network of data. For me, I'm building my network of data, and you could do that too with your profession. For example, I follow a lot of data nerds that are nerding out just like I am, and I just so happen to have met online. We haven't met in person. He's a gentleman out in the UK, and he is a data scientist, and he ended up having tickets to an AI conference that he wasn't able to use, and because of my connection, like I got them for free and I was able to go. But the whole point of this is that you're leveraging LinkedIn to build that network, and then eventually maybe even reach out to them or even meet them at a conference, which is what I did. And we had been talking for 2 years on LinkedIn, which is amazing. So
And
just
what
an
we're
idea
gonna do
there.
is, because we do have a class waiting to come in. We're not quite done. We're gonna do one more slide. But what we're gonna do is we'll provide, like Irma and our team will get together and provide more information to you. The last slide that I just wanted to touch on, thank you, Irma, is really understanding all of the different areas that you can use it. And our world is made up, if you think of that like a combination pizza, and every slice has its meaning, right? And you can see the pizza now as you start to look at it, is really understanding that you can use in all different aspects. If you're feeling stressed, you're like, I'm feeling stressed, what should I do? Or what should I make for dinner? I mean, there's a variety of things you can ask it. So please don't feel like it's just has a very narrow focus. It really does have a focus where you could use it in all different aspects. And so we want to make sure that you kind of play around with it. So we do appreciate your time today. For those of you online, thank you so much. You're going to start receiving emails from us. You can scan those QR codes up there. We're the one on the very left, and then Irma's, that's the career page.